What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. That was a little fun, I guess. This is the second video that we're going to be breaking away from the regularly scheduled content of blood, guts, and gore of true crime to talk about a topic that is a little less gory and more normal. So, for the next couple of videos, we're going to be talking about different movie franchises, and I decided to kind of kick the bucket and start with the biggest one, Marvel. I am an absolute Marvel nerd. I am a vet. I've only not seen, what do we say, 3 movies and then the Disney Plus shows? Yeah. So, out of all of the content that Marvel has put out in the past couple of years, I've seen almost all of it. So, without further ado, let's get into the creation of Mr. Stan Lee. R.I.P. That man is a fucking genius.
R.I.P. that.
R.I.P. Stan Lee. So there are 2 different ways to kind of watch this in release order and then chronological order. I have watched them in release order, like how they go through the theaters, and I'm currently working my way through watching them in chronological order, which is just a little bit harder. So yeah, I'm also going to tell you if I have seen it or if I haven't seen it. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite Marvel characters. So, with that being said, drop in the comments who your favorite Marvel character is and tell me why. And yeah, let's see how this goes. So,
Yeah, and
let's see how this goes. First up is how to watch the Marvel movies in release order. Marvel films, I should note, are split into what we call phases, with the end of the phase typically indicating a natural end to the story arc. And the beginning of a phase will introduce new and important characters. So obviously, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is one big universe with all of the different movies happening at all different times. And yeah, there's a certain way to watch them. So, below, or continuing on, we are going to go through phases 1 through 4 in release order. Yes, that does include WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, which are the Disney Plus shows. So they're not technically movies, but the MCU is changing so very rapidly that the Disney Plus shows are just now as important as the movies. So, especially with things like WandaVision, and it'll be talked about in the new Doctor Strange movie coming out in May, but we will get into that. So, starting with phase 1, obviously. The beginning of that is Iron Man. It was released in 2008 and obviously stars Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I have seen that. It is one of my favorite movies of all time, and debatable, a great way to start the MCU. In release order, of course. Number 2 is The Incredible Hulk. It's a great movie. I have heard amazing things about it, but unfortunately, in living memory, I do not recall watching this movie. So, yes. Although the Hulk is a great character to the Marvel Universe, I just have not watched that movie. And I think Marvel needs to make more movies about Hulk, because there are a lot of possibilities for him to play out and him to have great character development. The third one is Iron Man 2. I have seen this one. That was released in 2010. I really again, I'm a huge Iron Man fan, so it was a great movie for me. They had some very comical villains. Robert Downey Jr. is an amazing actor. I would probably die if I had the opportunity to meet him. So I have seen this movie. I think it's great. And yeah, the chemistry between the cast was absolutely amazing. Number 4 in phase 1 is Thor, which was released in 2011. I have seen this one. I feel like Thor is kind of overrated. Like, everybody knows who he is. Everybody loves him. I love Chris Hemsworth, and I love the way he portrays Thor. Just Thor as a character is pretty overrated to me. So it is not one of my favorite movies, even though as a Marvel fan, I have watched it. And I think Thor does play an essential part to not only the Avengers, but the MCU as a whole. Number 5 is Captain America, the First Avenger. It was released in 2011 as well. I have seen it. I think it's absolutely amazing movie. I love the chemistry between Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan, and this is where we get to meet a lot of characters that will eventually come out later in the movies, like Peggy Carter, Bucky Barnes, Howard Stark, who is Tony Stark's father, by the way. So it's a great movie. I absolutely love it. Obviously, I have seen it because it's Captain America. And they all do an amazing job. Number 6, obviously, is The Avengers, which was released in 2012. This is also where you kind of get to meet, like, Black Widow, Hawkeye, the Hulk, you get to see him again, Iron Man, Thor, get to learn a little bit more about them. We actually meet Loki for, I think, not the first time. Loki's in Thor. You get to see Loki and his villainous. So I have seen that one. It's a great movie. I absolutely love it. And that is the end of phase 1. So that obviously brings us into phase 2. And starting off with phase 2, very similar to phase 1, is Iron Man 3, which was released in 2013. I have seen, and in my opinion, Iron Man 3 just sucked. Like, just kind of sucked. Like, again, Robert Downey Jr. is an amazing actor. I will continue to repeat this. But I feel like his character was just a little bit of a dick in this movie. Like, he was really, like, mean. I didn't like him. I genuinely thought he was a dick. Okay. Number 8 is Thor and the Dark World. I have not seen this movie. That was released in 2013, so I was, 12 at the time? I have not seen this movie, but it is on my list of movies to watch, so I will probably sit down and end up watching it on my next day off, actually. Number 9 is Captain America and the Winter Soldier. This was released in 2014, and I have seen this one. It kind of, it kind of shows us a little bit more about Bucky and what happened to him after the events of the first Captain America movie. Yeah, and we kind of we get to see a little bit more of Nick Fury, more Steve, Natasha. Absolutely love them. I think they could have been a cute couple, but Marvel creators don't listen to me sometimes. Number 10 is Guardians of the Galaxy. That was also released in 2014. I have seen that one. I absolutely love the Guardians. I think the cast of them all had, a great chemistry. And who doesn't love a talking raccoon who's a kind of a sarcastic bitch? But Guardians was absolutely amazing. And yeah. Number 11 is Avengers Age of Ultron. And this is kind of where we meet Vision. We meet the Maximoff twins, Wanda and Pietro. And we kind of see the Avengers form more as a team. We see them kind of break through and become Earth's mightiest heroes, even though they kind of did that in the first Avengers movie. And we see Tony and Bruce working together. A lot of just good moments. So it was a great movie. I did see that. It did come out in 2015. Ant-Man is the next on the list. That was also released in 2015. I have seen that one. I thought it was hilarious. Paul Rudd did an amazing job, and I kind of like how they turned him into this man who's just like a struggling father trying to raise his kid. And at the same time, he's this hero who could shrink himself to the literal size of an ant. If people could do that, I'd be a little concerned. Like, who'd be hiding in my underwear drawer or something?
That'd be weird.
That would be weird. That'd be terrifying. You rip open your clothing and there's just a little tiny person sitting there.
Titty.
And that ends phase 2. So moving on to phase 3
You're fat.
is kind of Captain America Civil War. Now this is where issues start to arise. If you couldn't already tell, this was released in 2016. I have seen it. I really, really like it. It's actually one of my other favorite movies. This kind of just like shows like that the Avengers now have split down the middle. Some believe they're each doing what they think is good and right and just. And some people don't believe that. This is also kind of where we're introduced to Black Panther. We meet him for the first time in the movies anyway. The comics might be a little bit different, but correct me if I'm wrong. And we kind of see like who ends up picking whose side. Obviously that's why it's called Civil War. And this is kind of like where we meet the MCU version of Spider-Man. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And the next spot is Doctor Strange, which was released in 2016. This is kind of like where we meet, like, obviously Doctor Strange and see, like, the magic side of the MCU. Obviously, we know of Wanda and Pietro, who do have powers. And this is kind of like where we get to see more of like the magic side of that. I have seen that one. I thought it was really good. Benedict Cumberbatch did an amazing job, and I honestly cannot wait for more of him to come out, which 2021 and 2022 in my opinion is the year of Doctor Strange, because we do get 2 movies with him in it. Number 15 is Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which was released in 2017. This kind of just picks up with where we left off with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 years ago. We kind of get to understand a little bit more of Star-Lord's background, him and Gamora's relationship, Mantis and all of them, and yes, just more of our intergalactical heroes, minus Thor. And then number 16 is Spider-Man Homecoming. I was so excited when this movie came out. I did see it, and I did see it in theaters. I actually own this movie. Kind of trying to buy all of the MCU movies, and that's going to take me a little bit because there are a lot of them.
All on Disney minus
A couple.
Spider.
But we kind of see how the MCU envisions Spider-Man. Instead of him being like in college or like high school, we see him more as like appealing to the younger generation, which I absolutely love. And no offense to Tom Holland, I absolutely love him. I think he's an amazing actor. But my heart always rests with the original 2 Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, because that's what I grew up on. So I do like how they made a Spider-Man that's more appealing to the younger generations. Number 17 is Thor Ragnarok. I did see this one. I love it. It's actually one of my favorite Thor movies out of the one I've seen. We kind of meet a couple more of the intergalactic Asgardians. Thor and Loki kind of try to repair their relationship a little bit. And I thought it was really, really funny. So that was released in 2017. So 2017 was a really good year for Marvel movies because Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, and the next movie, Black Panther, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. Like, what the fuck, man?
He was my husband. He was my husband.
It's his hubby. Sonic break.
Here?
Anyway,
Or there?
He gets his standalone movie. We get to see him go on his adventure with his sister Shuri. Can't wait for Black Panther 2, which is supposed to be coming out pretty soon. And I just thought it was a great movie, and Chadwick Boseman was an amazing actor, and I love what he brought to the MCU. Number 19, the heart-wrencher for everybody. Avengers Infinity War. Ay. That came out in 2018. I did see this in theaters with a bunch of my friends. I paid good money for those tickets. I bought those tickets like a week in advance. I did see that. I kind of like how they like brought like everybody, and they did it from everybody's point of view. I believe Thor was there, Pepper and Tony and the Avengers, the Guardians were there. So yeah, I thought it was a great movie. I really, really liked it. The ending made me cry though. Like, I sat there and bawled.
Okay, I got that.
Anyway, 2018 also brought us Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is the sequel to Ant-Man. He goes on his adventures with Hope, who is like his lover, I guess. They did have a special relationship, and we see that happen in the ending of that movie. It sets it up for Avengers Endgame, where we see him come back after the snap and everything. 2019 brought us Captain Marvel. We meet Brie Larson as obviously Captain Marvel. Amazing movie, I really like it. We also meet the alien race, the Skrugs, I believe is how you pronounce it. And that kind of sets up for a lot of fan theories.
Oh my... Sorry, I'm just figuring this out.
No, you're alright. That sets us up for a lot of fan theories. Like, some people think Nick Fury, the Skrog, that the Nick Fury that we see after, I believe it's Captain America, the Winter Soldier, was a Skrog, impersonating him. Because, as we know, Nick Fury was shot. He almost died. So, yeah, those are some interesting fan theories that are brought from that. Also explains how he lost his eye. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yes, it's cool that a guy
Lost his eye because a cat scratched it out. 2019 also did bring us Avengers Endgame. I did also pay good money for those tickets. I saw that opening weekend, and I paid good money for it. I thought it was a really nice ending to how the Avengers kind of like... It was a nice ending for most of the Avengers, minus a couple. I mean, we lost... Spoilers, by the way. We lost Tony, we lost Natasha, and we get to see how the Avengers now have to deal with the fact that, while they saved the entire world, essentially, the entire universe, I may say, they kind of, like, lost people that they truly cared for. And it's nice to kind of, like, see, like, how their lives are now going to be different with that. So, obviously, I have seen that one.
Oh my god.
The end of 2019 brought us Spider-Man Far From Home, and we kind of get to see him not only dealing with the loss of his mentor, Tony Stark, we also get to see Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, and kind of seeing Peter being kind of alone and abandoned, not abandoned, but like alone and having to deal with being Spider-Man in another country. And all of that, also while dealing with the teenageness of him being in love with MJ and all of that, and then Mysterio being just this manipulative bad guy. Yeah. So, yeah, as you could tell, I really do like that movie. I did see that one. I did see it in theaters as well. And that is the end of Phase 3. Phase 4 is the latest one that we are currently in, and that is started off by WandaVision. This focuses on Wanda as she's dealing...
Oh my god, sorry.
as she's dealing with the loss of vision and everything, and it ends up with her manipulating an entire town of people to live this life with vision, and basically her being kind of delusional. And I have not seen that, but that's just like the basic summary I can give you. Number 25 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that kind of deals with Sam and Bucky, who were closest with Steve Rogers after Steve kind of like gives the shield to Sam. He's like, it's your responsibility now, and they have to deal with both the consequences and the rewards of being Captain America. And I've seen parts of this, so I'm like not all the way done with it. I'm on like episode 4, I think. So yeah. Number 26 is Loki season 1. That kind of deals more with like Loki and like the time and the multiverse and everything. I've heard it's really good. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm getting there. Number 27 is Black Widow. All of these were released in 2021. 2020, 2021. WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki are all on Disney Plus as the Disney Plus series. So I definitely recommend going and watching those. And I did see Black Widow after it was released on Disney Plus. I thought it was a great backstory to like Natasha. We all knew she was a Russian spy and everything. We get to meet Yelena. I believe that's how you say it. That's like her sister. She comes to play in Hawkeye and everything. So I think that was really good. Really emotional. I cried a lot. What If is a Disney Plus series. I haven't seen that one yet, but it talks about how what if certain things in the Marvel Universe were changed. So I think that's pretty cool. I've heard great things about it. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was released in 2021. It's on Disney Plus. I have not seen that yet, but I've heard great things about it. I can't wait to sit down and watch it. Eternals, I have seen that one. I thought it was really good. I talked about it a lot in my last video, so I would definitely recommend and go check that out if you want to learn more. So I thought that was really good as well. Hawkeye is the Disney Plus series. I have not seen that yet, but I know it kind of deals a lot with like Clint, and we meet a new character, Kate Bishop. We also see Yelena coming to like avenge Natasha because she thinks Clint had something to do with her death, Natasha's death, which to be honest he kind of did, but like he also tried to prevent it from happening. So yeah. Spider-Man No Way Home. I did see this. I've seen it. How many times have we seen Spider-Man? We've seen it 3 times. I've seen it 3 times in theaters. And I thought it was really good. Like, we see Doctor Strange, and it plays a big into the multiverse. So, yeah. If you guys want to dive in right now and start watching all of these movies, most of them are on Disney Plus. So, I would go check those out. If you guys have not seen any of these movies and you're like, I want to go watch these, they're on Disney Plus. Go watch them. Okay, that was really demanding. Obviously, and then Phase 4 and beyond, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness comes out May 6th, 2022. Thor, Love and Thunder comes out July 8th of this year. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever comes out November 11th, 2022.
I figured it out.
Right now, all of these dates are set, but they could change due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the Omicron variant. So, who knows?
And Florona.
It's not real. Moon Knight will come out on Disney Plus sometime in 2022, along with She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel. Those are also coming out on Disney Plus. sometime in 2022. Those dates are unknown. The Marvels, aka Captain Marvel 2, will come out February 17th, 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will come out May 5th, 2023. I'm super excited to see how they're going to handle the fact that Gamora is no longer with them, if Nebula joined the team, and whatever. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania comes out in 2023. I believe that is on July 28th. Blade to be determined. Captain America 4 is to be determined. Fantastic Four is to be determined. And an Untitled Mutants movie is also to be determined. Now, on the second way to watch them. We were 25 minutes in already, guys. I hope I have not bored you yet. So, this way is best for MCU veterans like myself, looking for a new way to watch. This one's a little more complicated than the list that we just talked about. Luckily, Marvel has revealed the official year in which each movie takes place. That goes right up to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which fits snugly between Endgame and Far From Home. Loki's place currently on the timeline remains to be seen. So, if you want to watch these in chronological order, you start with Captain America, the first Avenger, which takes place in 1942 and 1943. Secondly is Captain Marvel, which which takes place in 1995. Iron Man comes in at number 3 in 2010. Iron Man 2 is in 2011, so that's right behind that. The Incredible Hulk also happens in 2011, so you watch that. Thor, also 2011. Avengers is 2012, as you can kind of tell. Iron Man 3 would happen in 2012 as well, so that's where you would watch that. Thor, The Dark World will come after that, also sometime in 2013. Captain America, The Winter Soldier takes place in 2014, so you would watch that after that one. Guardians of the Galaxy also takes place in 2014, but later on, so you would watch that after Captain America. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 2 also takes place in 2014, so there's a lot going on in 2014 apparently. Avengers Age of Ultron takes place in 2015, with Ant-Man following that also sometime in 2015. Captain America Civil War happens in 2016, along with Spider-Man Homecoming, so you would watch Civil War first, then Homecoming. Doctor Strange happens in 2016 and 2017, so obviously you'd watch the other two first, then Doctor Strange. Black Widow happens in 2017 because that takes place after the events of Civil War. So, yes. Black Panther is also in 2017, followed by Thor Ragnarok. Ant-Man and the Wasp also happens in 2017. Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Endgame happens in 2018 through 2023. So obviously it's far ahead in its time. Loki and What If are outside of our conception of time, but around that period of time. So like Loki is outside of the conception of time right now, but takes place sometime after Avengers Endgame. And then What If is also outside of our conception of time. WandaVision.
Okay, here, I figured this out.
Sounds good.
It's not supposed to be used for water. It's supposed to be used for food.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings takes place between 2023 and 2024, so obviously you would watch it after WandaVision. Falcon and the Winter Soldier takes place after that. Far From Home takes place in 2024, followed by Spider-Man No Way Home, because obviously those two happen right after each other. Eternals also takes place in 2024, and Hawkeye happens at Christmas 2024, so obviously you would watch that last. Obviously, so there's like a bonus way, I guess you could say, of how you watch that. of the MCU movies, and this is non-MCU Marvel movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is best for anyone who wants to fully appreciate Spider-Man No Way Home. That's obviously the confusing bit with the multiverse, which is heavily discussed in Spider-Man No Way Home, which obviously sets up the other two Spider-Men, I guess you could say. Thanks to Spider-Man No Way Home, we have various Spider-Man villains through the multiverse in the MCU, and to fully understand everyone's motives and intentions in No Way Home, you need to have watched a fair few of the older Spider-Man movies. So that includes the ones with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. No spoilers for if they're in No Way Home or not, but yes. These take place on 3 alternative timelines, one where Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man, another where Andrew Garfield is Spider-Man, and a third where Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock becomes the villain, Venom. That's difficult. For a full deep dive into watching these movies, check out the other video that I'm going to make where we talk about how to watch the Spider-Man movies in order. Because that's a whole other thing you have to kind of go into. So how it goes is Spider-Man 2002, Spider-Man 2 in 2004, Spider-Man 3 in 2007, The Amazing Spider-Man in 2012, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in 2014, Venom in 2018, and Venom Let There Be Carnage in 2021. Now, the only one out of that list that I have not seen is the brand new Venom movie, because I have not had time to get around and watch that. It's good. And then finally, kind of just how to watch them on Disney Plus, which is best for people like myself that have a Disney Plus subscription. It's definitely worth it because, like, hi!
It's only $9.
It's only $9 bills, y'all. Anyway. Borax. So basically, sadly, you will not find Spider-Man or the Incredible Hulk on Disney Plus. So this is because rights to the Hulk belong to Universal, and the rights to Spider-Man belong with Sony, though the Spider-Mans could and should appear on Disney Plus sometime in the future, thanks to a deal with Sony. So, hopefully pretty soon we get to watch the Spider-Man movies on Disney Plus, but until then, this is how you watch the movies on Disney Plus. Iron Man, Thor, Iron Man 2, Captain America the First Avenger, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Thor the Dark World, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America the Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Endgame, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, What If, Shang-Chi, and The Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, and Hawkeye.
What is that? I've never heard of it.
Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings?
Oh.
That's the one with the, what's his face? Oh, I can't think of his name. So, that's how to watch all the Marvel movies in order. So, my dear subscribers, what the fuck are you waiting for? Go watch them. Go! Also, if you're staying around for the end of the video, I will tell you my 5 favorite Marvel characters. 1, Iron Man. And the reason why is I love Robert Downey Jr. I think he's an amazing actor, as I've said like 3 times before. But also I do really like the character development of Iron Man. In the beginning, he kind of comes off as this cocky, selfish prick who is this billionaire.
He is basically Elon Musk.
He's basically the MCU version of Elon Musk. Nothing against Elon Musk and everything, I just think he's cocky. And in the end, when we see him in Endgame, he becomes not only this mentor to Peter Parker, but he becomes a loving husband to Pepper Potts and an amazing father to his daughter Morgan. And then he kind of just sacrifices himself. He gives everything up to save the world. And I think that's the true definition of being a hero, is understanding what that comes from. So he had a great character development. Number 2 is Spider-Man. And the reason I say that is because I like the creative liberty they took with that. And not only getting 3 different people to play Spider-Man, and with each one having its own unique benefits, its own unique storyline, while some of the characters are overlapping or the same, they all kind of just have something special to them. I also grew up with Spider-Man. I grew up watching Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and I was super excited when they announced that Tom Holland would be the new Spider-Man, because that's attracting to younger fans. Number 3, Loki. I don't know why, but I really, really like it. It's kind of the same thing with Iron Man. He's this misunderstood villain in the beginning, and at the end he becomes this person who is willing to die for not only his brother but for his people. And I honestly don't think he died, because it's Loki. What do you expect? He became this, he started out as this god of mischief, constantly pranking people, constantly being the misunderstood brother, and becoming this person who, again, understood his sacrifices and had a lot of growth. Number 4 is Bucky Barnes. Okay, I just think he's hot. That's why he's one of my favorites. I just think he's hot. But, again, he went through a lot of trauma, being, I relate to the characters with a lot of trauma, because growing up, I had a lot of that myself, and they were characters that I could easily relate with. So, yeah.
And you also think he's hot.
I also think he's hot, but I stated that in the beginning, so. And he went through a lot with Hydra. He lost his best friend, gained his best friend back, and had to watch him leave all over again. Imagine how bad that was. And then he kind of stood up for what he believed in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and became this really role model for people. Because also, imagine how much shit he's seen in the 107 years that he was alive. He is 107, by the way. I wish I looked that good at 107. I don't even look that good at 20 years old.
Shut up.
And then finally, number 5 is kind of tied between Wanda and Black Widow. One of the moments that I really, really liked in Endgame was this moment where they were they had all of the women heroes coming up and being yeah, we got this. And it was a really awe-inspiring moment for me, because it's women are powerful too. We can kick ass and we can look good while we do it. But I just related to Wanda a lot, or Wanda and Black Widow a lot, because it was they went through a lot as well, and they overcame that while becoming these role models for me growing up with Marvel and with how everything went.
Hi, dear.
Hello. Anyway, guys, that is the end of this video. Stick around, because we are going to be talking about some other movie franchises, including Scream, Resident Evil. That one was a request. I don't know much about that. Probably talk about some Stephen King, a couple of other things, so stay tuned. We got a lot coming to you guys soon. Bye.